All right, today we're going to demystify a stock for you. We're digging into an analyst report on Tips Music. Now, you might know them as this legacy label, right? Kind of old school, but they are making some seriously modern moves. So let's figure out what makes them such an interesting bet right now.
You ever stop and think about this? When you stream a song, who actually gets rich? I mean, it seems simple, right? You press play, but behind the scenes, it's pretty complex. A whole chain of money moves starts up, and for some companies, it's a massive opportunity. So the real question is, who's in the best spot to cash in on this digital gold rush?
Whoa, just look at this number, 450 million. Let that sink in for a second. We're talking about over 450 million active music streamers just in India. To put that in perspective, that's more people than the entire population of the United States. It's this digital tidal wave, and it's completely changing the game for the entertainment industry. The potential here is just explosive.
Okay, so here's the game plan. First, we'll look at the big picture, India's digital music boom. Then we'll meet the company, Tips Music. After that, it's all about the numbers, the competition, and finally, the verdict. Let's get into it.
All right, first things first, we got to set the stage. To really get a company like Tips, you have to understand the world they're living in. Think of it like a powerful wind at their back, just pushing the whole industry forward. And this is what's fueling the fire. It's not just that more people are streaming music, though that's a huge part of it. It's about all the new ways to make money from content. We're talking licensing for shows on platforms like Netflix, a huge new demand for regional music, and then you throw in tech like 5G, which just makes everything smoother. It's basically a perfect storm for growth.
Okay, so that's the big picture. The whole industry is booming. Now, let's zoom in on our company of the hour, Tips Music. How have they handled this massive digital shift? So who is Tips Music? Well, in a nutshell, they're a major player, a real heavyweight in the Indian music world. And their secret weapon? It's this huge library of songs. We're talking over 5,000, with a really strong focus on Bollywood. The best way to think about it is like a vault full of gold. Every time someone streams one of their classic hits, cha-ching, they make money. And check this out, this is what's so incredible. Look at how much their business has changed. A whopping 78% of their money now comes from digital streaming. I mean, think about that. They went from the old world of CDs and tapes to a business that's all about getting royalties from Spotify, YouTube, you name it. That's not just a change, that's a complete transformation. Okay, so they've made the big digital jump. That's great. But is the business actually healthy? Are they making money? Well, let's dive into the financials. The numbers don't lie. First up, revenue. How much money are they bringing in? Well, it grew by 28.5% year over year. Let me tell you, that is a strong number in any industry. It means people want what they've got, and that demand is actually picking up speed. But wait, it gets even better. Look at their profit. It grew by over 35%. Now think about that for a second. Their profits are growing faster than their revenue. That's a huge sign of a really healthy, efficient company. It means they're not just making more money, they're keeping more of it too. And this right here, this is kind of the secret sauce, a 42.8% operating margin. What does that even mean? Well, to put it simply, for every single dollar they make, they're turning almost 43 cents into profit before taxes and other stuff. That's crazy high. And it all comes back to that smart digital model, low costs, high scale. I absolutely love this quote from the report. It says, their business is more like a software company than a record factory. And that just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? They own the code, the songs, and they can sell it or license it over and over and over again with almost no extra cost. It's an amazing business model. Okay, but let's be real. Tips isn't the only player in the game, not by a long shot. They're going head-to-head with absolute giants. We're talking T-Series, Sony Music. So how on earth does a smaller company like them survive, let alone thrive? It all comes down to their strategy. Focus. They're not trying to be everything to everyone. Instead, they're absolutely owning their niche, that deep Bollywood catalog. And it works. They've carved out a solid 8 to 10% of the market. While the big guys are competing on pure size, Tips is all about their strong relationships with artists. It's the classic David versus Goliath story, right? But in this case, David has a really, really good slingshot. So let's recap. We've got a booming industry, a company with fantastic financials, and a smart strategy to compete. Now for the big finale. What's next for them? And more importantly, what's the final verdict from the analysts?
Well, management has a pretty clear roadmap. Step 1, double down on regional content and new partnerships. Step 2, start looking at international markets. And step 3, scale up the whole operation, maybe even buy up some smaller companies. It's a very clear path forward. But, every investment has its risks. So let's look at the what if it goes wrong scenario. The report calls this the bear case, and it values the stock at 320 rupees. This is what could happen if the big competitors really start to squeeze them, hurting their growth and profits. Then there's the most likely scenario, what analysts call the base case. This puts the stock at 420 rupees. Basically, this is what happens if they just keep doing what they're doing. Steady growth, strong profits, making that digital model work. And finally, the bull case. This is the what if everything goes right scenario. If they nail that international expansion, grab even more market share, the stock could be worth as much as 520 rupees. This is the dream scenario for investors, the real blue sky potential. So, after looking at all the possibilities, what's the final call? The bottom line from the report is a clear buy rating, and it really comes down to 3 things. The numbers look great, their digital business model is a powerhouse, and the Indian music market still has so much room to grow. And really, that brings us to the big final thought, right? In a world full of streaming giants trying to swallow up everything, could the smartest move be to just own your own special corner of the universe? For Tips Music, it seems like the answer is a huge yes.